via ESPN and the Professional Bowlers Association present the championship round finals of the Pacific Cal Bowl Senior Open live from Lakewood, California. For the 6th time this season, John Handegard has qualified for the championship round, and he's looking for his first win in 1993. Meanwhile, 3 brand new faces, Bill Starnes, Jim Brenner, and Bob Korth, will all be looking to break into the PBA Senior Tour's winner's circle. Without question, you had a favorite bowling center on the national tour. Would have been Riviera Lanes. Gene Stus has been nothing short of sensational here at Cal Bowl. He's undefeated in this building.
It is amazing, Denny. This is 3 consecutive years that he's made the championship round here. He's the only champion that this tournament has ever known. He bowled a 300 on national television last year, won $100,000 for that. He's won 11 games on television. 8 of those wins have come here at Cal Bowl. He'd like just one more win tonight to get his 5th senior victory.
And speaking of a man who would like to come up with a senior title here this evening, it would mean everything in the world to him. That would be Bill Starnes, our number 3 qualifier.
And he's an interesting story, Dan. He is a middle school principal. He went into education in college and came out and worked his way to be a school principal, but his dad always wanted him to go into bowling. He never tried the national tour. When his dad passed away, he promised his dad as he was dying that he would try the senior tour as soon as he turned 50. He's done it. He's gotten progressively better every week. This week he's qualified 3rd. He wins 3 games. He wins his first senior championship.
It'd be interesting, too, if he would face John Handegard, who is his roommate over the last 5 weeks in that number 2 position. Of course, the opening match is ready to start, featuring Jim Brenner and Bob Korth. All right, those 2 gentlemen ready to shoe it up here in the opening game. Jim Brenner, of course, made the telecast here 2 years ago.
Yeah, lost to the eventual champion, Gene Stus, that time.
Who hasn't lost to Gene in this building?
Well, nobody's beat him yet here.
Bob Korth out of Medford, Oregon. Wonder how well he knows Marshall Holman.
Well, imagine that they know one another.
Beautiful shot.
Very simple game that Korth has. Finishes quite a ways behind the foul line, gets the ball well over the line, as opposed to Jim Brenner, who sets it down so smooth that it wouldn't break a pane of glass.
Can't even hear it when it hits the first 2 or 3 feet. And a beautiful shot for Brenner. 2 different approaches, Mike Durbin, to throwing strikes.
And Jim Brenner is just a delight to watch him bowl. Has that big high backswing, sets the ball down so smoothly, and his result many times is just what he got a strike there.
Brenner averaged 204 on the championship round pair. The top 5 averaged a crisp 220. Oh my, flirted with the twig at about 45 feet and left the 2-8 on lane 21.
Actually got that ball out of the lane a little bit. You could hear that one hit the lane. Normally you can't hear it. Leaves the 2-8, not an easy spare, Dan.
Still trying to break through and win his first PBA senior title. Has had a number of top 10 finishes.
Yeah, but only one other championship round right here.
Felt like he bowled a pretty good game against Gene Stus. Shot 237, but it wasn't enough. Out wide and back for the 2-8 conversion.
Used the strike line to convert it. It's the way normally that I would recommend it. A lot of players, especially the modern contemporary younger players, just throw hard and straight right at it.
Korth looking for the double and the early advantage in game number 1. A little more loft. And did he hang up in it or what?
Yeah, Dan. He was definitely left to target all the way. Wanted that double. You know, he gets the ball out of the lane to begin with, and that one, the thumb and fingers basically came out at the same time. A little bit left of target. Whips out a lower surface friction bowling ball to go straight at the 610. And, woo! Wasn't hooked anymore. He was in big trouble.
I didn't think there was anybody else on the senior tour that threw a spare ball the color of John Handegard.
Bob Korth is a 5-step player. Sets himself ready to go on lane 21.
I think he likes 21 perhaps a little more than 22.
Although when I talked to the players, nobody would say that there was any difference between the two lanes.
You think that's the biggest difference between the synthetics, Mike, and the wooden lanes?
Well,
much difference?
Yeah, there was always. There shouldn't be. You wouldn't think with these synthetics any difference in any of the lanes, but there is.
Through the nose, Brenner fortunate to end up with just a 10. I mean, you could sleep right above his bowling center and never worry about
he wouldn't wake you up,
would you?
Right. Yeah.
Really a nice gentleman who intimated to me that he's out here. He loves the competition, loves to get in there and bowl against the best players on the senior tour, and now he has himself a mistake, an open frame. And of course, don't forget tomorrow night on ESPN, in terms of Major League Baseball, a big doubleheader coming your way. There we go for the opener. The Red Sox and the Tigers. Red Sox are the best pitching staff in the American League. Tigers with a lot of people that can hit it out of the park. And in the nightcap, I think it's the Dodgers from Cincinnati. As you can see, a strike on the left-hand lane.
So both players are a little bit nervous right here, Den. Not able to put good shots back to back. They can make one at a time. It's a different story when you got to do it 2 times in a row or more. A little more room. And doesn't get there and leaves the 2 and the 7.
Too much room.
Yeah.
You think that was an adjustment to the last shot?
I don't think he moved his feet. Yeah, I do think it's an adjustment. He wanted to give it more room. He wanted to get it off his hand cleaner. He did, but he just got it too wide that time, which tells you that the lane condition is not that easy.
Oh, both players with open frames. And we'll be back with more of match number 1 from Cal Bowl after these messages.
We're going to take a picture. Here we go. Okay, give me a big smile. Don't worry, kids love me. Oh, it's a phone. They want you to smile. They'll call you back. So this guy walks into a psychiatrist with a squid on his head. Oh, you've heard this one. Ow! Funny thing happened to me on the way to the sandbox tonight. Look, I'm the mouse man. Don't cry. It's just me. It's not really a mouse. I'm dying here. You like French fries? You like McDonald's? What did I tell you? Kids love me.
We're gonna have to bail.
What about the Bud Light?
No time. There's only one left. You take it.
I'll never forget you.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Not so fast.
The championship round finals of the Pacific Cal Bowl Senior Open are being brought to you by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And while we were away, Jim Brenner has come up with a couple of real nice shots.
And he trusted both of these. Look at how the 4 falls into the 7 here. And light again. But he's sticking with a good thing right there, Dan.
So it's a 3-bagger, a 22-pin lead. Now back in the 6th frame, Bob Korth leaves the 7-pin, and that was on a strike, so he's not been able to put together a double.
And the difference between the 2 is Korth can't carry that light hit, and Brenner carried 2 in a row. Right now, Korth looking for an answer on lane 22 and coming up with question marks instead.
Just past the midway point, both players with an open frame. Winner of this game will take on our number 3 seed, Bill Starnes, and it's John Handegard and Gene Stus waiting in the wings.
if he could bowl all night on lane 21, he'd be pretty tough. All right, we'll be back with more of game number 1 from Lakewood, California, right after this break.
There's a new federal law that permits local TV stations to demand money or refuse to allow their signals to be carried on your cable system. So in the next few months, you'll be hearing about some important and controversial negotiations that may affect your channel lineup. Your cable company will do its best to limit any inconvenience to you and to keep you informed of changes as they occur. It's viewers like you who've helped make cable a success. Thank you for watching cable TV.
Businesses and consumers both agree that the Better Business Bureau stands for honesty, integrity, and service.
Hi, I'm William Crone, owner of Crone's Coins, Cards, and Collectibles in York. Being a member of the Better Business Bureau means that we belong to a select group of businesses who take pride in maintaining the highest ethical standards and continued commitment to customer service and satisfaction.
You're known by the company you keep. Join the Better Business Bureau today.
Jim Brenner leading by 22, working on a 3-bagger.
Smooth as silk. And the old equalizer, the 7 and the 10. The pocket 7-10. We see it almost every week then.
Major turnaround in this match.
Major turnaround. I mean, he could put the match almost out of reach with a strike there, and now Korth with a double can be right back in the match. Hard and straight at the 7-pin. Not really that hard.
But reasonably straight. I had a chance to talk with Jim about his bowling goals heading out on the PBA Senior Tour, and this was his response.
Well, I like the competition, first of all, and I think everybody's goal is to win a national title. I've been close. I've been in the top 10 I don't know how many times in a couple of telecasts now, so I expect to win sooner or later.
Trying to get the job done here this evening. Came back nicely in the 8th frame, but that 22-pin lead is now down to just 8.
And in the situation, if Korth can get his first strike on lane 22, he can take the lead in the match for the first time.
Better shot.
Better result.
Key shot for Bob Korth. And I also had a chance to talk with Bob and ask him about the excitement, the anticipation of bowling in the championship round for the first time.
Oh, it's going to be great. I've been looking forward to this since I came out. Last year I got to come here and I just missed the finals here. Ended up 8th, and I had a shot at the show and didn't get there. So I came out for 6 tournaments this summer, and I really feel like it's just a dream come true to me.
And he's dreaming about lane 21 because he's yet to miss over there.
Well, yeah, but that's great match game bowling, Tim. When your opponent gets that bad break like that, he steps up there and makes 2 quality shots right around the second arrow, a little right of it, and hits his tough lane, comes back and nails it on his good lane, forces now Brenner to strike here in the 9th frame.
To cut the lead to 2. And a beautiful shot. What a nice comebacker after that pocket 7-10 the last trip.
Well, we got 2 inexperienced players showing their mettle going into the 10th frame, and it's the guy that can perform in the 10th that's going to win this opening match.
All right, does Jim Brenner have the advantage because he's finishing first?
I would think so, yes. Although you never really have the advantage when you're trailing, you know.
Trying to keep the string alive. And a classy shot to open up the 10th frame.
Well, he's not trailing anymore, Dan. Now he's ahead by 8.
Both players very much aware of the score, and they've both taken a look.
And you look at Brenner's game here, you know, 3 in a row, pocket 7-10, 3 more in a row. He could have 7 in a row. As it is, 1 more. He forces Korth to get 2 in the 10th. Smooth. And the soft 10.
Good shot. Ball just didn't quite roll up, was in between. And so all he can do now is spare up, sit down, and hope for the best.
Well, Bob Korth's going to need that first one in the 10th on a lane that he only has 1 strike on.
But the important thing is he struck the last time he was there. Nice game for Jim Brenner. Bowled a good game here 2 years ago and was defeated by Gene Stus.
You know, Bob Korth was in the position round last night. In order to get to the championship round, had to throw a double. So he's proved that he can respond. Let's see if he can do it now.
Good shot. Oh, and it skidded just a little bit. Maybe he got it inside his target.
Just a hair. I mean, he was aiming at a small target on that lane, the 2-4-5. Jim Brenner's going to move on to face our school principal, Bill Starnes.
Good opening match. It disappointed Bob Korth. Came within an eyelash of winning the opening game, but as well as he is bowling out here on the national tour, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we wouldn't see him back in the championship round in short order. So Jim Brenner hangs on, gets the handshake, and he'll advance. As Mike just said, against an excellent player in Bill Starnes. Before all that happens, though, Mike Durbin has a special drill in this week's Average Builders.
In your quest to master the perfect bowling score, Columbia introduces the new Power Torque. It's beyond reactive. Columbia bowls the world over.
All-Pro quarterback Dan Marino.
When the game is over and the pain starts, I want two things from my pain-relieving rub: fast relief and no odor. So I use Sports Cream, a strong pain-relieving rub that doesn't make me smell like a medicine chest. I just massage in Sports Cream for fast, odor-free relief. Cream or lotion, Sports Cream sure gets my vote for most valuable pain reliever.
Trust me, there are just some things you don't want to paint every year. That's why Sherwin-Williams top-of-the-line Super Paint has a 20-year warranty. And it's on sale now during the Super Sale-a-thon. Interior and exterior Super Paint is only $16.99. Super Sale-a-thon ends August 28th. So hurry. Like I said, there are some things you don't want to paint every year.
ESPN's NFL 12th Man Contest, sponsored by McDonald's and Lee Jeans. It's simple. Win the contest. Pick any NFL team. Take 3 of your best friends to every away game. Get $25,000. Travel first class. Meet the players. ESPN's NFL 12th Man Contest, sponsored by McDonald's and Lee Jeans. Anyone can win, but not everyone wants to. To enter, call 1-900-2884-NFL. 95 cents per call or enter by mail. Must be 18 years old to enter. No purchase or call necessary.
You ever had the trouble when you were bowling in the evening of league or even open play where you got to the bottom of the swing and your arm just tightened up and you were steering the ball as you let it go? Or maybe it was a high-pressure moment and you needed a strike to win the game. And you tried to stay behind that ball as long as you could, but the thumb turned early and the elbow flew, and you were just unable to swing it nice and loose and free and let it go. Well, I know that certainly happened to me many, many times in my career. And for tonight's Average Builder, I'd like to give you a drill that you can use in practice that can help correct this. Here's what the drill is. As I hit the peak of my backswing right here, my left foot is on the floor and I'm ready to go into my slide and I'm looking at my target. I shut my eyes at this point. I go ahead with the slide and I follow straight through up to the ceiling. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Mike, the ball is going to go straight in the channel. Well, that may happen, but I don't think it will, and for 2 specific reasons. One, when I get here and I'm looking at the target, even though I shut my eyes, I can still see it in my mind's eye. And 2, when you hit the peak of the backswing, and I believe when the ball's starting down here, it's going to go where it wants to go, and we can't manipulate it in a different direction. Now, what are the benefits of this? I believe that there's 2 basic benefits. First is it'll help free up that swing. It'll make it nice and loose, and the ball will want to come off, especially after I've done it a few times. And 2 is it removes all fear from my shot. I'm not letting the pressure of the moment or the lane condition dictate to me how I throw the ball. Let's try it. Line myself up here. The target is right around the first arrow, maybe one board right of it, the fourth board. Let's see. See, it is possible to strike even with your eyes shut. Just remember that when you hit the peak of that backswing, you start your slide, shut your eyes, and go straight through it. Next week, we'll be coming to you from Grand Rapids, Michigan, when the national tour rejoins ESPN. Join us then when we'll have another Average Builder.
Michael Durbin with this Michael Jordan impression. He'll be shooting free throws the next time we see him. 213-191. Korth loses, Brenner advances, and he'll take on Bill Starnes when we return.
I scream, you scream. We all scream for ice cream. We all scream for ice cream. Thank you. Hershey's chocolate syrup.
So I'm thinking shrimp, where do I go? Long John Silver's a voice tells me so. I look for the sign, that voice never lies. For $1.99, I got fish, shrimp, and fries. So if you love shrimp, you gotta go fish. At Long John Silver's, you're gonna get your wish.
Every season is more of a physical challenge, but after 26 years in the majors, I've learned to take care of myself. Like now, when my muscles are sore, I take Advil. Just a couple of Advil, and I'm ready to go another 9 innings. To last as long as I have, you got to stick with what works.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
People buy homes, you know, it's an emotional experience.
And you have to understand what their needs are, you know, where the schools are, where the shopping is, put them in the right place so the children will be happy.
We're willing to go that extra mile and do what it takes to get the job done.
I have a pet peeve about people who don't return phone calls. So if you don't hear from me, you can rest assured I'm probably dead.
I just never give up.
Century 21, rated best at selling homes.
I will provide for my clients whatever I would do for just a good friend.
Jam-packed crowd here at beautiful Cal Bowl for the championship round finals of the Pacific Cal Bowl Senior Open. Of course, this bowling center will host one of the PBA Tour events next winter.
Yep.
So the seniors get their shot here tonight. The touring players try it in January of '94. And right now, Jim Brenner would like to have his opening shot over.
Well, you know, a lot of times that'll happen. If you don't practice in between, you can slow down a little bit. That's what it looked like it happened with Brenner that time. The speed was just soft. Full penalty, 4-7-10. Let's see if he gives it a shot with not much to lose. Now it goes for the 2.
Well, let's see if Bill Starnes might be able to take advantage of an open frame in the first.
And we see with Bill at 50 years of age. His first year as a professional. Good shape, 5'10", 175. 5-step player.
Nice way to open things up.
Pretty nice opening shot. Very square game, Ben. All right, what we see with Bill is he holds the ball waist high right here. As he goes through with the approach. Watch the knees if they stay bent. Right here now we see ball's at shoulder height, and the knee is still bent right there. Watch the left knee as it comes in and see if he stays with kind of soft legs as he goes through. Nice bend. Straightens it out a little bit at the end. When he gets into trouble, Ben, is when that left leg gets stiff at the end.
Shot rolls over the thumb hole. 2-7 stands. The 8-pin fell at the last moment.
See, when he gets stiff-legged at the end, he doesn't follow through in the same fashion. The thumb doesn't exit the ball as cleanly, and the ball doesn't go into as heavy a roll, kind of like on that shot. When the ball hits the thumb hole like that, you know that the release was a little bit dirty.
Tries to fit it between the 2 and the 7, so an open frame now for Bill Starnes.
Well, we watched Korth shoot that same spare with a lower surface friction ball, and he didn't get up. Starnes went the same strategy and yanked it left.
to me like Jim Brenner's moving left.
He's trying to keep the ball in the oil. There is more oil left. What I like, though, you know, is how he lays that down and watch that follow through. Just extend his arm. Looks like it's 9 feet long. Setting it down at the 12th board, out to 7, about a 5-board belly, right under 17 miles per hour. That's pretty good speed for Jim. See, if he swung it more, it'd be slower.
Member of the Greater Davenport Bowling Association Hall of Fame. A little more speed, a little more arc on that shot. He got him to dance a little bit on lane 21. So Brenner responds with a double after the open in the opening frame.
How many times do we see that, Dan? You know, it's just the name of the game out here that you make a mistake, you better expect that your opponent's going to double. Bill Starnes getting his baptism under fire right now.
Out of Corvallis, Oregon. If any of his students are watching the action here this evening.
Pretty good shot there. Leaves the 7-pin. Right now, he's just fighting to stay relaxed because his heart's pounding. He's tense. He's nervous right now, and he needs to just settle down and relax. Trouble.
Pulled it left from the get-go, and so an open frame, an unforced error, as his wife and mother look on, and right now the picture isn't pretty. Average 243 on this pair of lanes throughout the week, by far and away the highest of our top 5 finalists.
Yeah, but it worked. Wasn't television lights that should change things.
Trying to bounce back. Much better shot there in the pocket. All right, so Starnes comes back with a strike. I would say that there's a transition period too, Mike, where you go from being a little too pumped up and nervous to just being flat scared you're going to get embarrassed and beat, and all of a sudden you focus up a little differently.
Well, he better focus up a little differently. He's going to be so far behind he won't be able to catch up.
Brenner back to work on lane 22. And all of a sudden the arm swing is loosened up and he's starting to carry everything.
Well, his carry has been good except for that pocket 7-10, Dan. He put a lot of balls in the pocket and had a high percentage carry. We know for a fact that he had at least 7 strikes that first game. In fact, he had 8 strikes that first game.
Leads by 32 after 4 frames.
A lot of room. Wow, pretty shot. He's wired. And we see his 6'3", one of the taller players. Is Gene that tall? 185. I know he weighs less than Gene. 8 years of pro. Trying to change those figures at the bottom there. You know, get those zeros off of there.
Critical shot, I would think, here for Bill Starnes.
He's got a strike.
Better roll and a solid 10-pin.
Well, that's, you know, these games get over in a hurry, Dan. When you fall 40 pins behind, you go strike solid 10. You know, your game plan is to come out and you want to be aggressive. You don't want to make mistakes. He's done just the opposite. He's been a little tentative, made mistakes early. Mainly on spares, you know, just not made quality shots on spares. That's his first spare of the game.
Down by 42. Take a look at him the next time he sets up, Mike, and visualize Dick Ricker.
Ricker was just a little more loosey-goosey, a little more relaxed. Of course, he had a lot more experience.
I guess the point I'm making is not a lot of moving parts there. Very simple, compact, accurate type game.
His game is actually simpler than Ricker's was.
All right, we'll be back with more of match number 2. Jim Brenner way ahead. Bill Starnes trying to play catch-up here from Cal Bowl in Lakewood, California.
Wow.
Dear Midas, after getting an outrageous estimate at my dealer, I came back to your shop. Your mechanics,
John.
Jim.
Ron. Robert.
gave me a free estimate, stayed late to finish the job, and even pointed out that my brake pads were under warranty, saving me a lot. I was so thankful for not being taken advantage of. I bought them all lunch the next day. Thank you, Sarah Acco.
Historic Boston, where Lee Trevino, Chi-Chi, and senior legends blast off golf balls, not cannonballs, at the Bank of Boston Senior Classic. Complete coverage begins tomorrow afternoon live on ESPN.
Leading by 42. Jim Brenner back to work.
Trying to add to it. So smooth. Well, the pin's rolling around there. It hit it, but not hard enough.
Soft 10 for Jim Brenner from LeClaire, Iowa. And we're told that his place of residence is not in any jeopardy in terms of the flooding in that region.
Well, pin rolling around there, probably the head pin. You know, rolls over, gives a little nudge to the 10, but not enough to knock it over.
Just enough to keep you watching. A little more speed on this shot, and the ball rolls up a little light. 2-8 is the result.
It's almost like Jim's attention is waned. You know, the match seems to be well in hand, and he's not putting his opponent away. You never know with these things. Left this in the last game, shot it off the strike line. Let's see if he does the same thing here.
Plenty of room. And a beautiful conversion for Jim Brenner. And for those of you who enjoy the Senior PGA Tour, live action coming up of the Bank of Boston Senior Golf Classic. Mike Hill, the defending champion. All the top seniors will be there. Big tournament, big payday. I'm sure you'll see some outstanding golf.
And Bill Starnes has got to strike here to get himself any chance to win this match.
Light hit shakers. Boy,
Wow.
10 pin again. A couple of shots, Mike, that, you know,
Unusual
might have been able to
10
strike
pin.
on.
Unusual 10 pin. You wouldn't think that you'd leave a 10 pin on that kind of light wall shot hit.
Just can't seem to get anything positive to happen here in the championship round, as happens many times in a first appearance. Stuck at the line, stayed with it, and made the 10 pin. And I had a chance to talk to Bill about coming out on the senior tour and basically why he did that.
Well, when I was a young man, my father wanted me to go out on the tour 25 years ago, and I chose not to because of job and family. And a few years ago, he had a stroke, and he recovered from that. And after his recovery, we talked about me coming out on the tour. I'd quit bowling for a while, and I was 48 and started practicing again, bowling some tournaments, and now I'm out here. He died a couple years ago, so I know he's out there. He's up there pulling for me today.
Another guy that might be up there pulling for him is Hank Lawman, who Southern California Bowler of the Year in 1954 and 58, died on Sunday. The people here in Southern California will certainly miss him. Our condolences to his wife, Betty.
Spare converted on lane 21. Still down by 41, though. Jim Brenner just running through the paces right now to get this match finished up.
Got it on cruise control, doesn't he?
I would think he would. He'll need to shift into a different gear or throw the turbos on, because John Handegard is next to be faced, and then Gene Stus, who has won back-to-back titles here, is the top seed.
Well, you know, he's kind of fallen asleep at the wheel here now, and he's going to let Starnes back into this match if he's not careful here.
You see Jim shaking his head, and it's like, oh, what in the world am I doing here? I'm way ahead. Let's just finish this match out.
Nine out. gets the match within still possibility range. I mean, he still has a commanding lead, as we see the general manager here, John Schuda.
A wonderful man who runs a great tournament, looking forward not only to having the touring players back next year, but the seniors as well. A very progressive bowling center here is Cal Bowl in Lakewood. Beautiful facility.
Yeah, they remodeled a couple years ago, and it just looks great.
Players have had a great time here. They enjoy the area and the bowling center and the hospitality. Lead down to 27.
Well, Starnes has an outside chance. If he would strike out, he could finish with 195, force Brenner to mark in the 10th frame.
We've seen stranger things, evidence of last week's final between Gary Dickinson and Jim Long.
Yeah, that seemed to be a done deal, and it wasn't.
Signed, sealed, and delivered, but it never made it. Tell you what, Jim Long handled himself beautifully in the press room, and after a tough loss for him, had a chance to bowl for the title. He'll be back.
Yeah, good young 50, good player.
It is young for this tour. 2 taps in a row. How about a strike? Not to be for Bill Starnes on the right lane. 3-6 is what's left to clean up.
Well, you know, Starnes is a down-and-in player, and he never got the line exactly right to get the ball to the oil, to the dry, back to the pocket. That time it just hit the dry area of the lane and grabbed too quickly.
It's interesting because for the last 5 weeks he has traveled and roomed with John Handegard, and Bill just flat told me the reason why I'm here is because of all the help that John has given me. He's made some suggestions in terms of my timing and my leverage stuff and a few other things. And so I've really learned so much this segment that it's going to help me the rest of the way.
I'm sure that John's made suggestions as far as bowling ball weights, too, because John's a master at changing weights to make the ball roll earlier, later, to hook sharper or roll more even. Handegard is a scientific master at that with a bowling ball.
And there's a look at John off to the side, practicing, ready for the semifinal game. It's been no carry whatsoever tonight for Bill Starnes either. He's thrown some pretty good shots and ended up with 9.
Well, that happens so often when you get 2 opens early in a game. It just, you're nervous to begin both, and that makes the span even smaller or shorter.
Start pressing a little bit and squeezing the ball.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of them.
Sure does. Trouble. Well, it's a night to forget. Night to remember and a night to forget. First time, let's see, I can identify that. That's about what I bowled my first time on television back in 1967.
Same year that you were Southern California Bowler of the Year.
Right.
7-10 again on lane 22, and is that going to have Jim Brenner thinking a little bit, Mike Durbin?
Sure it will. And what's interesting is if Starnes had struck out, if he'd have been able to put it together, Brenner, 2 opens in the last 3 frames, going to finish under 200, going to win this game with a 180 game.
Well, he slid by Bob Korth in the opener. Now he defeats Bill Starnes in game number 2. And so Jim Brenner advances against John Handegard. When we come back, Mike Durbin will talk with our top seed, Gene Stus, who has ruled the roost here at Cal Bowl.
A great car dealership is by their return business. That's when someone buys a car once, then buys again years later because everything about the first experience was exactly to the customer's satisfaction. It happens over and over every day at Hess Ford. Over 90% of Hess Ford customers come back again and again. For new or used cars and trucks or for professional fast service, Hess Ford keeps their customers satisfied. Because without customers, we'd be just a parking lot. Elizabeth.
2 opens in the final 3 frames for Jim Brenner, but it didn't make any difference. He led by 44 at one stage, and he wins 189 to 161 over Bill Starnes, who finishes up 4th. And so Brenner moves on, and we'll be moving on next week to Spectrum Lanes, located in Grand Rapids, Michigan, for the championship round finals of the Greater Grand Rapids Open. And that, of course, will feature the touring professionals. Thursday, August 12th is our airtime, live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. And don't forget, as soon as we're done, it's a heavyweight championship fight, USBA style, from Las Vegas, Nevada. Mike Hunter at 23-2 with 8 KOs will take on the challenger, Alex Zolkin. And it all begins at 9 o'clock tonight. Top Rank Boxing live on ESPN. And while we've got a moment, time to give you an idea who is now on the Bowler's Journal All-America team for this year. The captains, Carol Giannotti and Parker Bone III. You might say, well, how could Parker Bone be the captain with Walter Ray winning everything? Well, according to the criteria, the way the BJ All-America team is set up, it's not a calendar year necessarily, as they have on the national tour. And so I would say more than likely Walter Ray will be the captain next year. And the captain of this ship without question as we head down to Mike Durbin, who also made the BJ All-American team one year. I'll have to leaf back through the encyclopedia. He's there with Gene Stus.
Well, thanks, Teddy. I appreciate that. With me is Gene Stus. And Gene, you bowled so great the last year. In fact, the last 2 years. This year, you started off a little slower. Is there any particular reason for that?
Well, Mike, after the Chicago tournament, I came home. We had a month off. And I had a little health problem. I had the gout in my hand. I had a death in the family. I didn't throw the ball for a month, and it showed when I came back out here.
So is the gout all gone now?
Yeah, it's gone, and I've been bowling a lot better since made the last 3 finals and been doing very well.
Okay, but speaking of doing very well, you've done very well in this particular bowling center. Cal Bowl has to be maybe your favorite bowling center of all time. Any particular reason why you bowled so well in this center?
I don't really understand it. I don't know if it's the surface, the Murray Lanes, or it's the carry I have in this house, but there's something here that, and my confidence is so high here because I won twice, and I can't explain it, but everything comes together here.
Okay, you've won twice here. You mentioned last week after Las Vegas and you lost that you've been having trouble getting loose on television. Is there a reason for that, and do you have a game plan to try and change that this week?
Yeah, I have. I have been last tournament I was very nervous. My heart was pumping. I couldn't, normally after a couple of shots I calmed down. Last week it just kept pumping. I couldn't calm down. Today I'm just going to try to relax and make good shots. Whatever happens, happens.
Okay, well, he seems pretty confident here. In our next match, we're going to have John Handegard, who just seems to make every TV show, going up against Jim Brenner. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Football fans, the heart-pounding action of the NFL season is right around the corner.
Football already? Kidding me. Let's go.
Soon, Sundays will be filled with tackles and touchdowns. Why act surprised when Sports Illustrated is offering an amazing football package? It kicks off with our exclusive new video, Inside Football 93, a fast-paced review of 92, and a preview of the upcoming season. Your video's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated, the best way to get into the action for more than 24 million readers every week. With Sports Illustrated's action-packed video, you'll really get into the game. Wow!
Kind of makes you want to hit somebody.
And here SI's views on who's going to go all the way.
I like San Francisco to be the best team in football this year.
Yes. Call now, and we'll also give you the NFL video yearbook of your favorite team, free with your paid subscription. Pick any one of the 2018 videos. It's your choice. Raiders. Giants. And it's a free choice for an inside look at your favorite team.
You'll see QBs, TDs, and LTs.
It's a great football package. Your 2 free videos, plus 54 issues of Sports Illustrated, including the 2 big football previews for only $1.39 an issue. Save over 52% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card.
It's free! That's a big swing!
With Sports Illustrated, you'll really get into the NFL. From the preseason to the Super Bowl, you'll have football covered in 93.
93! Gonna be! Are you?
Call now and get ready for football with Sports Illustrated and your 2 free videos, Inside Football 93 and the team video of your choice.
We're ready.
Nobody's into sports like Sports Illustrated.
Get into it!
Well, I'd say that Jim Brenner's going to need more than 189 to beat John Handegard.
I've noticed with John Handegard that he never, before these matches, he never shakes hands with his opponent with the right hand. He puts the left hand up there. I'm sure that's because he doesn't want to get perspiration or something else on his right hand.
Okay. Yeah. Strike for Brenner, who shakes him up on lane 21. The machine is up next on lane 22.
And the only bowler of our top 5 that's using a non-reactive urethane ball. He's using just a regular urethane bowling ball.
Wow. Right past the head pin. And of course, that's the lovely wife of our lighting director, Jacques, who works, well, not only the lights, but just about everything out here on the national tour, and it is her birthday.
Jacques' a one-man show. I mean, he could probably use years of my job, too.
I'm going to say if they came up with it and added a little per diem, he probably would do it. Just does a wonderful job for us out here on the tour. Handegard with a spare. Our producer did mention something interesting, that Jacques might take our jobs if he wanted to take a pay cut.
Pay cut, yeah, right.
Good point, George. We'd have to ask him.
Let's see how long Handegard stays with this ball.
After that opening reaction, for me, it'd be about 1 frame.
Well, that looked pretty good, though.
Well, he looks like he's going to throw it awfully well for that thing to react, Michael.
Yeah. John's 55 already. 6 senior titles. He's been stuck on that number a while. He must be changing. The, quote, lucky number 7 hasn't been coming very quickly. Keeps throwing snake eyes.
Leading the tour in average at 219.4. He'll need all of it right now. Brenner comes out with a quick double. One senses the fact that Jim knows, hey, I can't fool around with Handegard.
Well, Brenner's done this. He's been able to throw strikes, but he's also mixed in a few opens, too. In the first 2 games, he's got at least 3 opens that I can think of right off the top of my head.
13 strikes in 2 games.
First 2 of them were pocket 7-10.
Smooth delivery. And another strike for Brenner. Handegard has to be thinking, I better get started here quick.
Now, what kind of adjustment is he going to make after that 1-2-8? He was fortunate he didn't leave the washout. Is he going to move right?
Oh, he's got to. Maybe he didn't throw it very well.
Well, he had a surprised look on his face, like he couldn't believe the ball went that straight.
He got a handful on this shot. I don't think he threw the ball particularly well in the opening frame.
He's just amazing to me, though. I just love to watch him bowl and the adjustments he makes. That 4-step delivery. See how the foot is out in front here. Watch as he gets to the peak. There's the how high the backswing is. Ready to go into the pivot step. The head's so steady. Watch the follow through. Perfect balance. How could you do it any better?
Needs another here to keep pace.
Even the match. Lost that ball. Dropped right off his hand. He's been getting the ball well over the foul line. Gets half a loaf with this shot. Not an easy spare.
Left side spares have been tricky tonight.
Yes, they have. For everybody. Shooting it off his strike line, it looks like. Got it over the line. Perfect. Watch it coming down here as it gets, is in the slide now, head steady. He's getting right about here now, and the thumb is just going to come out too quick. He's losing the ball. Thumb and fingers together, and even though it looks like it's over the foul line here, it was much shorter in release than the one before.
It looked like Brenner got that shot way inside his target and paid the price with 3-6-10.
Well, he may have stuck a little bit, but I think that was caused more from mental attitude than anything else. Handegard gets half a loaf. He's up in the match by 15 pins. He wanted so desperately to get further ahead because he knows the quality of his opposition. At the 3-6-10, easily done.
Very nice conversion. A 12-pin lead for Jim Brenner. Whoever wins this one ends up with the rights to bowl the man who has won the last 2 times in this bowling center, Gene Stus.
Smooth as silk. Well, he's carried that hit every time, Dan. Hasn't lost it.
Mike, do you carry better if you lay the ball down at the line as opposed to lofting it?
Well, again, I think it's individual. For him, obviously, that's true. See that ball deflect and just barely get the 5, but the result is that all those pins go down. He's just a loose player. He's a relaxed player. Where John is a more controlled player all the way through.
Handegard with a strike on 22. And if he doubles here, would cut this match to a 2-pin match.
Right. And I bet you'll see that ball get over the foul line on this shot as compared to back in the 4th frame.
Probably the closest to winning back-to-back player of the year honors as anybody, John Handegard.
Over the foul line.
And a strike is the result. So this match is nearly even. Brenner and Handegard within 2 pins. We'll come back with the completion of the semifinal game from Lakewood, California, in just 1 moment.
Some things you don't want to paint every year. That's why Super Paint with a 20-year warranty is on sale now at Sherwin-Williams Super Sale-a-thon. It ends August 28th, so hurry. Like I said, there are some things you don't want to paint every year.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
You say your eyes are red, irritated, dry? Don't hide them. Help them with Clear Eyes. It gets rid of the redness and has an extra moisturizing ingredient, too. Clear Eyes. And for allergies and colds, Clear Eyes ACR.
Jim Brenner wasting little time getting back up on the approach.
Pretty shot there. Ooh, what a funny 10-pin. What a funny 10-pin.
Almost a similar hit to what Bill Starnes ended up with on that lane.
Very similar on that lane. You know, I was thinking in my mind right here, that this may be the biggest match, the biggest game of Jim Brenner's career right now. I mean, this, you win this, you get a chance to bowl for your first title.
That's almost tougher than winning a title. And don't forget, coming up tomorrow night, baseball on ESPN, Major League style. Boston and Detroit in the opener. That one starts at 7:30, 4:30 here on the West Coast. And in the nightcap, Cincinnati and the Dodgers. A couple of great players there. We'll go at it. Game time about 10:30. Another good shot, another 10-pin. So the door is open now for John Handegard.
2 soft 10s. Brenner keeping every ball but one in the 1-3. Off to a quick start and now struggling again. Same as the last match. Picks it up. It's a 1-pin match. Trouble. It's 2 of those. Can't
Pressure?
do that. No, I think it's carelessness. I don't think the pressure did that. I think he just got who took it for granted.
You know one thing, if there's a guy that'll take advantage of an opponent's mistake, it's this man right here.
Right. The shark is out there swimming, looking for the blood here.
Took the lead while sitting on the bench, and now tries to add to it. Oh, my.
Gives it right back.
All right.
Wow, I'll tell you what, he's got to make this to maintain the lead. And not easy. Let's see. He should try and hit the 2-pin on the right. The 2-pin will go into the 7, and the ball takes out the 8. Takes a perfectly executed shot. Although I think it was made on the left by Dickinson last week.
He's accurate.
Oh!
Double hit.
Double hit. Woo!
Handyman knows he got away with one there.
Wow, was that unusual pin? Let's watch this pin reaction here. Watch the 2-pin. It hit the 8, flattened out, and got the 7. The 2 got everything.
Big break. He still leads now by 7 pins, and let's see if he can strike in the 8th. Well, Dickinson got the break last week in 1. Let's see if Handegard can repeat that performance. Down on one knee, and when John gets to that point, it's normally after he likes the shot.
There we see the Choice Hotel finalists next week, the seniors. Handegard's the top point winner. Mursina, Stus, Dickinson, and Don Johnson. What's going to happen is those 4 will roll off for the right to bowl Handegard, and the winner of that match will bowl the winner of the tournament for a $25,000 winner-take-all.
4-pin and the 9-pin are both wobbling. Neither wants to fall, and you heard the moans and the groans from the crowd here at Cal Bowl.
I think he's got a chance to make this. He's left similar things. He should know where to stand, where to aim to get left of that 4-pin, and he has to make it. Stuck a little bit at the line and didn't have the good accuracy that he wanted. It's an open frame, 2 in a row, and he's falling further behind a great bowler.
Looks like it could be a couple of heavyweights in the final, in Handegard and Stus.
You know, it's the old story of momentum, Denny. Missing that spare changed the momentum. The bad break follows it. Now the strike is relaxed, but just takes one errant shot to cost you. And that's the same thing is true in any sport.
Oh, especially at this level.
Right.
I mean, you can win at home in league play or city championships once in a while making a mistake, but on the national tour for a title?
Right. Well, that happens in golf. I mean, one errant shot. It can happen in basketball. You miss a free throw, one drop pass in football. The same type of thing.
Handegard by 18, looking to extend that here in the 9th and solidify his position in the title match. No surprise there.
His carry has been excellent. The problem has been when he's missed the pocket. You want a re-rack on this left leg?
Players were talking about the rack on 22 during the practice round.
Right, they didn't light up. The 3-pin was in a little bit, but it wasn't consistently setting up a bad rack every time. John up by 28, just looking to get the ball in the 1-3.
That he does with no problem whatsoever. Handegard with a clincher. And he'll start to think about Stus and the title and $18,000 in first place prize money.
He's already thinking about it, Dan. This match is history. He's ready for Gene Stus.
Finish out the match and get lined up on the left-hand lane. Another strike for Handegard, who peers down at the arrows.
Well, you know, normally we see John just drill in the pocket every time. This time he's been a little light and everything, and his carry has been excellent. The 3 times he didn't strike, he missed the pocket. So he's hoping he didn't use it all up in this match.
Gene Stus is hoping he did. Trying to finish out for 242. I'll make it an even 240. Nice game by John Handegard, who will move on to the title match, Pacific Cal Bowl Senior Open. Meanwhile, Jim Brenner will take a 3rd place check worth $7,000 off to Springfield for next week's senior event.
And what's ironic is he can start with 3 in a row and finish with 4 in a row, but those frames in between, he just kind of fell asleep at the wheel.
He'll look back on this match with thoughts of, without question, we could have won and ended up in a title match.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think that the 2 key shots in my mind were Handegard making that split and Brenner missing the 10 pin.
Changed the entire complexion. Good experience, I would think, though, for Jim Brenner. Had a chance to bowl 3 games in the championship round as opposed to just 1 a couple of years ago. Been a consistent performer out here on the national tour.
Head chops the 3-0. Going to finish under 200.
Kind of ended the night on a sour note, but Handegard will move on to the title match against Gene Stus. And, of course, we've got the Midas Championship frame coming up when we return.
Light. It is the first element of creation. Nothing brings it more elegantly or shapes it more beautifully than Anderson windows and patio doors. Come, live in the light of Anderson windows. Come home to Anderson.
There's nothing worse than a foul-smelling pair of shoes. But Odor Eater's insoles are so strong, they actually knock the odor out of your shoes and out of your life. Only soft, comfortable Odor Eaters contain super activated charcoal. And activated charcoal is the world's most powerful odor destroyer. So to knock the odor out of your shoes and out of your life, get genuine Odor Eaters insoles.
What's up, Jake? What up? Where's Calvin? At the J.O.B., man. What? He's still flipping those burgers at Mickey D's?
Thanks, Calvin.
He says he has a plan, man. He's the newest member of our management team. Calvin.
Congratulations.
All right. Over here, my boy, too. Like that.
Yo, Calvin.
May we help you? Not much, man. Well, I'm out. Hey, yo, Calvin. Now, what's the word on that job thing? Not for me. For a friend of mine. Word.
To help manage your money more wisely today, get the Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Personal Finance. The guide is filled with information you need to know before you buy a home, plan your retirement, or start saving for your child's college years. Subscribe now to the Wall Street Journal. Take advantage of this introductory offer. Get 10 weeks of the journal for just $36 and your free copy of the Guide to Personal Finance. Call 800-628-1100. That's 800-628-1100.
Championship frame is brought to you by Midas, the Midas way, the way it should be. And let's take a look at Jim Brenner here in match number 1.
And he was trailing going into the 10th frame. If he strikes here, he takes the lead by 8 pins. He performed in the clutch like a champion. However, he didn't go on to be a champion. He won this first match, though, over Bob Korth, 213 to 191.
And, of course, it was on to match number 2. Once again, we'll feature Jim Brenner. This time with a key shot in the 5th frame early on.
Well, Bill Starnes never really posed a challenge in this match. He fell behind early. This is the 4th strike in a string of 4. Put him ahead by, 40, 50 pins in the match, and he cruised to a victory here.
Final score on that one, 189 to 161 over Bill Starnes. Then it was into the semifinal, and it wasn't a strike that we were shopping for here tonight in the Midas Championship frame, but a beautiful split conversion by John Handegard.
Well, a fortuitous split conversion for John Handegard. In the 7th frame, he was only leading by 7. If he doesn't convert this, he trails in the match. You want to hit it further to the right. Fortunate break the way the pins bounced. Hey, he turned it into a victory. He hopes it's a tournament victory.
John stayed with it, looked at it, and said, well, it wasn't exactly the way I designed it, but I'll take it. 240 to 199. And let's take a look at the way the rest of the top 24 finished up. PBA Hall of Famer Dave Sutar, oh so close, was 6th, and Ted Fraley was 7th this week.
And in the 8th position, Bill Gould and Don Gilman, who was the victim of the 300 game a year ago right here.
Rounding out the top 10, the Old Pro, Bill Johnson and Orville Gordon was 11th.
Yeah, Gary Dickinson, last week's champion. Mel Wolfe from Jackson, Michigan.
14th, Bob Orsi and Mike Samardzija, number 15.
16th, Shell Wilson, and of course, Lon Marshall, who we saw a few weeks ago.
Bobby Knippel in 18th position, and Robert Gibbs was twisting it up from Abilene, Texas. He ended up 19th.
20th, Richard Britton and Bill Stepke from Mission Hills, California.
A lot of new names this week. Raymond Villette was 22nd. Archie Carter made the finals a week ago.
24th, Larry Galloway, who won in Las Vegas last year, and our alternate was Paul Ballstadt.
All right, when we return to Cal Bowl in Lakewood, California, Gene Stus, will it be 3 in a row, a three-peat? The handyman will have something to say about that when we return.
Dear Midas, my brakes were making a terrible squeaky noise. I brought my car to your competitor, and without any inspection, he said,
"You need new brakes."
Then I went to Midas. Your manager...
Hi, I'm Tom Kirshner.
...had a thorough inspection done and said,
"You don't need new brakes. The squeaking noise is caused by brake dust."
Such honesty is refreshing in the time of auto repair ripoffs. Yours truly, Frank J. Ruder.
Come on, let's get a cold one.
Our total attendance for today's game.
Oh, would you look at this beer line? I'm going to go back.
What? Foul ball?
No, I'm not.
Foul ball! Foul ball! Out the way! I got it!
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
Make it 2 Bud Lights, please.
make it a Bud Light.
Hey, you got another ball?
All right, what is the best day of your life?
7 years old, and my dad takes me to Yankee Stadium. My first game. Sat there the whole game next to my dad. Taught me how to keep score. Mickey hit one out. Good day. And I still have the program.
When I was about 18 and my dad and I couldn't communicate about anything at all, we could still talk about baseball. No, that was real.
Every season is more of a physical challenge, but after 26 years in the majors, I've learned to take care of myself. Like now, when my muscles are sore, I take Advil. Just a couple of Advil, and I'm ready to go another 9 innings. To last as long as I have, you got to stick with what works.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Well, some big games bowled this week. And will there be another one here in the championship match?
Just one 300 game.
One here last year, the finals, Gene Stus worth $100,000. And Handegard opens with a strike. Of course, you and I need to pass along congratulations to a future Hall of Famer in Mike Albee.
Yep.
Albee shot 300 this past weekend. Another $100,000 for him.
Just keeps adding to his laurels
Plus
as
he won the
goes along.
title.
Yeah.
He's a...
And David Oziel bowled 279 to lose. So great match.
Wow. What happened when the best get it going? Uh-oh. This man may never stop striking here. I'll tell you what, he'll get loose after that shot right there.
Well, that's interesting. That's the lane he finished on last year when he struck to have the 300 game. Now we wondered if he was taller than Jim Brenner. He's not. He's only 6'2", 53 years, 4 senior titles. He's trying to make it 5.
Trying to shake off the nerve.
He's done a smart thing here, I think, making Handegard finish on the right lane. I think that lane's going to give Johnson trouble.
Stus cranks it up and strikes again. Well, I guess you could say that's 14 straight on this pitch.
Well, he bowled the 300 the first game. He bowled 3 games after that, remember?
Hard to believe that you could shoot 300 and then go on to win a title.
Yeah.
Especially after you've won 100,000.
It was his powers and his concentration. You know, that wasn't his only goal.
18,000 for first. You see the rest of the lineup. Neither one of these guys is thinking about second. You prove the profit through the nose on the right-hand lane. Now, why in the world did you say that?
Well, because every strike he had here was just a slight off hit. He never was real flush in the pocket here. I mean, he's aiming at a tiny margin of error. Bill Starnes was aiming at the same thing, and Bob Korth on this right leg. So, under the pressure, especially a guy starts with a double, you want to make sure you get it up. I don't think he has any swing area on this right leg.
Which would lead me to believe that maybe he needs another piece of equipment.
Well, he's made his choice. He has to switch it now, man.
All right, but isn't the object to have a little room right and a little room left? I mean, is that the best case scenario?
Well, what he's going with here is he wants an even reaction. He wants to be able to hold it up against what he thinks is if there's any oil line there, and he has confidence in his ability that he can do that. The trouble is, a couple of times things slid off for the 278 and the 128.
Not exactly a confidence builder.
See that lane? He looks like he's got a board to the right. Stus wanting to add to his 10-pin lead. A little extra time. See him blow that air out there. That heart's still pounding.
Trying to relax and settle into the game. Trying to unleash another strike. Ooh, tripped out the 2, but the 8-pin stands.
And you could see that was nerves entirely, Dan. I mean, he just never could get comfortable. He could never throw the quality shot that he wanted to because he was just a little too keyed up for that shot.
Do you think John Handegard has sensed that?
That's a good question. I really don't know.
Stus with a spare, and still has the early lead.
I think an opponent in Handegard's position right now, especially an experience like that, might sense it a little bit, but he's just thankful the guy didn't strike. He knows he's still in the match.
And we've got a number of lovely ladies on hand watching the telecast here this evening. It's Long Beach.
Boy, his ball hits hard, doesn't it?
Stus looks up to the heavens for acknowledgement from the bowling gods.
Well, he just swung it a little bit. He looks like he has unlimited swing area.
He has, well, you and I watched him use 2 or 3 different balls in the practice session. Every one of them reacted beautifully.
Let's see what John does on the right lane.
Another strike and a beauty for Handegard on lane 22. And the Budweiser girls are back. Only 2 this year.
Used to be 3 here, didn't it? I mean,
maybe she's working for Bud Light.
What was this scaling back everywhere? Is that the national
working for
trend?
Bud Light?
Oh, okay.
Do they have 3 girls?
I don't know.
Mike, I'm going to tell you what. I think if you sandwich yourself in between them, it'd be perfect.
My wife will be on the phone, so just don't get me in trouble here. Okay?
I mean, that would cover the entire gamut.
Well, as Handegard is covering the 1-3.
I understand. The handyman with 3 in a row. An 11-pin lead. Let's see if Gene Stus can respond.
Interesting, if he struck the last time on this lane, he was going to increase the lead. Now he's got to do it to stay in the match. Or to knock it down to 1 pin.
Better shot here. Oh, you can almost feel that one. That's got to hurt if you're one of those 10 pins.
Well, as you like to say, he got a handful on that one. I mean, he really pulled the finger holes out of that ball. Gene stayed down, swung it wide. It hits that area, just turned left. The only thing it could have stood was a solid 8.
I mean, you're looking at some serious label turning over when that ball hit in the pocket. Now this one for the lead.
Back and forth then.
Oh. Needs some help, and you saw the elbow pop out, and guess what? There's trouble right here on lane 21.
You saw that. I wondered if you saw that. Really traded you well now. You see it, all these things, that elbow flying, and sure enough, that 2, 4, 8, 10. That's makeable, 10. If you hit the 2 pin far enough on the left, you can slide that over and make the 10.
Stus trying to give it a run, ends up with 8 outs, and he'll have to hope that Handegard's string subsides right now, or he's going to be in big trouble.
Right. And we should mention, I think, that no matter who wins this match, whether it's John Handegard, who's 19 pins ahead right now, or Gene Stus, they are going to be the leading money winner on the senior tour.
A little more room. This one won't come up, and the 7-pin falls. Handegard left with the bucket again.
Wow. That knocks it down to 15 pins immediately, and it's under 5 if he misses the spare.
At least he's had the opportunity to make that with the 7-pin on the left-hand lane.
Playing it off the strike line. Probably lose 4 boards to the right and lose his target a board left, I would think. Trouble. Nope.
Ball set up and stayed right there. Spare for Handegard on lane 22.
The way it was moving, I thought he could chop that 2 off the 5. Excellent conversion. Again, his pocket percentage carry is 100%. The only times he hasn't struck is when he has missed the 1-3.
And lane 21 has been a good lane.
But he's got to finish on 26.
Light again. And that was a surprise. John felt like he had made a pretty good shot.
But he did swing it a little bit wider. And again, the ball just is not going to make it back. Now, a reactive ball might have made it back. But the regular urethane is not going to do it. It makes a more even arc with 2, 4, 8. Top spare again. He's lost 8 pins in count in the last 2 frames.
Sooner or later, if you leave more than 1, you're going to end up in double jeopardy. So an open frame now for Handegard, and it's a 1-pin lead for John.
Watching it looks to me like he sticks a little bit right here, Ted. Watch the slide. See him stick a little bit there? Lofts it. Playing it off that strike line, throwing a hook at it. That's the chance you take. Stus now back in the match.
A little slower. Plenty of lift. And no break on the 10-pin. So Stus turns in disgust, and he leaves the pocket 7-10.
And did you see the elbow again? The elbow went right again.
Players, both of them, started out striking like this would be 290 to 289. And the last couple of frames, lots of problems.
Well, Gene has let that elbow fly a little bit. See, they're playing at 2 different angles is what the 2 players are doing. Handegard going down, aiming at maybe 1 board with a small break at the end. Stus standing left, starting as well, sending it on, having it come back. And both of us struggling right at the time.
Better shot there. Stayed with that shot longer.
So, well, he's relaxed. I mean, a lot more relaxed on that shot.
Why do you relax after you leave a pocket 7-10?
Because you're disgusted with yourself and you're disgusted with the breaks.
Who cares?
I mean,
Just get up and throw.
Yeah, it's like the give-up shot, you know, and you relax and you throw it well.
Handegard leads by 12 after an open in the 7th. Unusual game for these two in the title match. Past the head pin again, 2-4-5, and the handyman is, at this point in time, I think a little confused.
Well, he's either going to have to move like 1 and 1 right to get that ball to move up, or he's going to have to soften the speed, which is a difficult thing to do under the pressure, and he's going to have to finish on this lane. You see, about a 2.5 board belly, 18.5 miles per hour. That's getting up there, especially for a player like John who just strokes it. Little wry smile there by John Handegard. We're hitting the 9th frame. Watch this. The ball hits all 3 pins. He made the 4-5 is what he did.
It is no fun shooting more than 1 pin.
Oh, no.
In a title match.
He needs a strike here to save count, keep the lead above 10, set himself up for the 10th frame.
Which is on lane 22.
Stroked it.
And struck with it.
See the difference, though? I mean, I bet that the speed had to be less than 18.5 on that shot.
Stus on a strike. This will be the key shot of the week for him.
Certainly will. He cuts it to 2, sets himself up going to his good lane. Although he struggled with both of them a little bit later. It seems like the execution is everything with Gene.
Got most of it. Oh, a dandy of a shot for Stus, trying to win 3 in a row. The only other senior to do that, Dick Weber.
Well, I tell you what, he pulls on it a little bit again. Soft enough speed that he got back and got all 10. It's a 2-pin match. He can take the lead with the first one here in the 10th.
Dick Weber won at the Showboat in 87, 88, and 89, I believe. Earl Anthony, the only player to win 3 in a row on the national tour.
74, 5, and 6 in Waukegan. Boy, a lot of room.
Oh, wound it up, let it go, and couldn't believe he didn't strike on lane 21.
Boy, that had to go from like board 10, 11 out to 3. See that? That hit board 12. Out to about the 3rd board, and the 6 wraps around the 10. He's got to make this. He's got to make this. He does.
Good shot.
A strike, and it's a 3-pin match. Mr. Handegard has been anything but good on the right lane. 1 strike the entire game on the right lane.
Handegard with his head down, focusing on the right-hand lane.
We could have a tie if there's anything in that. He needs to strike, though, to make Handegard get a spare and 8 to win the match and the tournament. Perfect. Hard to believe he bowled under 200 that game as well as he threw the ball.
199 for Gene Stus. An open frame in the 6th and an open frame in the 7th. Now for Handegard, he leads by 3.
What will he do, Dan? Will he make an adjustment on this right lane, or will he try for the frozen rope?
More loft, more... Oh, my. More fingers, more everything. What a classic shot. Oh! That's all Gene Stus is probably thinking. You know what? I just got beat by a great shot right there.
He threw that so well after going bucket 2-4-5 on that lane the last 2 times, right over about the 8th board, flush in the pocket, keeps his pocket percentage carry at 100%.
I'm going to tell you what, that was the best shot that I had seen in a long time on a lane where a guy was struggling. Believe me, he had it all over the lane. And John Handegard becomes the tour's leading money winner, wins his first title, and unseats Gene Stus, who had won 2 in a row here.
And ties Tina Seves for the most number of senior victories with 7.
What a match. You're right. You made a statement. How could Gene Stus shoot less than 200 on that pair of lanes when we watched a couple of breaks here and there? If he carries the ringing 10, first shot in the 10th, this would have been a whole different match. Handyman comes through. John Handegard with another victory on the national tour. 6 appearances in the final 5, and he comes up a winner tonight. We'll be back to talk to John Handegard when we return to Cal Bowl.
Your colors and your style at the Carpet Den. Visit the Carpet Den, and you can choose from our wide variety of quality carpets. At the Carpet Den, we also have wooden vinyl floor coverings, plus a beautiful array of window treatments, decorative wallpapers, and a wonderful selection of brand name paints. Yes, you can make any room more beautiful by visiting the Carpet Den in Elizabethtown, your total redecorating center.
Where's everybody going?
Why, they're all headed to Clearview Lanes and Hennigan's for their old-fashioned days.
Old-fashioned days?
That's right. Starting the last weekend in July and the first 2 weekends of August, you can enjoy the prices of the good old days. Bowl for 50 cents a game and call to find out how to obtain a free bowling ball.
What a great deal.
It sure is, but you better hurry. It's only the last weekend in July and the first 2 weekends in August. So come to the old-fashioned days at Hennigan's and Clearview Lanes, Route 230 in Mount Joy.
Mo Vaughn brings his act to Motown. The Boston Slugger leads the Red Sox against Cecil Fielder and the Tigers. Tomorrow, leading off ESPN's Friday night doubleheader.
The championship round finals of the Pacific Cal Bowl Senior Open are being brought to you by Midas, the Midas way, the way it should be. All right, John Handegard, the winner, and Linnea Pearson, you have a beautiful trophy to present to John.
Congratulations on winning the third tournament here, and I say you made it. Last year you were second, this year you're first.
Thanks a lot. It was really a struggle bowling against a guy like Gene with his powerful strike ball. I really feel fortunate that he got some bad breaks and enabled me to have a chance to win.
All right, and with a check, Dan Chernow, and it's a nice check, I might add.
It's a nice check. On behalf of Pacific's Cal Bowl Senior Open, here's a check for $18,000 to our new champion.
Well, thanks a lot. That's my biggest win by far, and it's always nice to come back to a facility like this. It's so beautiful. The bowlers really do enjoy it here.
All right, we'll be back to talk to John and ask him about that key shot in the 10th frame when we return to Cal Bowl in Lakewood, California.
Dear Midas, my daughter and I were in Savannah, and the cobblestones were more than our muffler could take. At Midas, your mechanic...
Hi, I'm Jack Willis.
...gave us a free inspection, allowed us a first...
Look at this.
...to look at what was wrong, and did a better than good job. It was a good feeling to have a guarantee following us back to Indiana.
And it was nice to feel we had not been taken.
Sincerely,
Annie and Nicole Weiland.
There's nothing worse than a foul-smelling pair of shoes. But Odor Eater's insoles are so strong, they actually knock the odor out of your shoes and out of your life. Only soft, comfortable Odor Eaters contain super-activated charcoal. And activated charcoal is the world's most powerful odor destroyer. So to knock the odor out of your shoes and out of your life, get genuine Odor Eater's insoles.
All right, John, you struggled on the right-hand lane, and you threw a classic shot in the 10th frame. Did you make any kind of an adjustment?
Well, I sure did. Originally, I was playing a little bit deeper than that. It seemed to be working, and then I left that bucket with a bad shot. The next shot was good, left a 2-4-5, so I had no choice. I certainly didn't want to shoot that again, so I made a little move to the right, moved everything to the right, and fortunately for me, it worked.
Michael?
Well, another move that you made was you came over and you used a non-reactive urethane bowling ball. And I wonder what factors went into making that decision?
Primarily consistency. Seems kind of silly for a winner to talk like this, but I was having a little trouble with my timing. And the reactive balls are just that. They are reactive. And sometimes they're wonderful, and there are just times when they're not. So I went with a ball that I knew I could keep in play all the time.
You're leading money winner now. What's the next step for John Handegard?
Getting on a plane tomorrow. I'm going to fly to Edmond and watch the young guys bowl, the power shooters. So I get the opportunity to bowl on TV there, and I might get the opportunity to bowl against one of them.
Any thoughts about Player of the Year quickly?
Well, I'm always shooting for that, and I do feel now that I have a chance, but I think this year is going to take more than one win to do it.
So we'll be back to see you in the fall on ESPN, and we'll see if John Handegard can win again. So long, everybody, from Lakewood, California. Next week, the PBA National Tour returns to ESPN with the championship round finals of the Greater Grand Rapids Open, live from Spectrum Lanes, beginning at 7:30 Eastern Time, Thursday, August 12th. Coming up next on ESPN, it's live Top Rank Boxing from Las Vegas, featuring a USBA heavyweight championship fight between the current title holder Mike Hunter and tonight's challenger Alex Zolkin.